Alrighty, thank you, Chris. Hi, it's all nice to meet you all.
Good morning. Morning.
Just going to share something on my screen here. If you guys would just let me know when you can see the panda.
Panda? Can't see a panda. But I'm excited for it.
All right, can you guys see it now?
No. Still no panda.
All I'm seeing is a little bar at the top, and then it says viewing Ryan Adamson's application.
Welcome back, Mayor.
Thank you.
Casey says he wants 111 days off too.
111, because that's what you're out of.
Because that's what you're out of office.
Yes.
Right.
It's like, dang it, I'll have to come back. What am I doing?
So I see it up on my screen. Did
There
by any chance?
Panda.
Awesome, great. Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, so the purpose of this call is just to talk to you a little bit about Tier 1. The things we're going to cover today. Here's my PowerPoint slides. Okay. The things we're going to cover today, I'm going to have you guys meet a couple of people from Canvas Support just so you can put some names and or some faces with voices, I should say. We'll kind of go through the care and feeding of your tickets, what happens to them when they come over to the support team. Some jargon you guys may hear on the phone, hopefully not too much, but just in case you do, I'll explain it. What we do when bad things happen, how we keep you informed, what communication channels and what have you. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll cover kind of what's included in your Tier 1 contract and what you would like us to do for non-Canvas related issues. So to start out, I'm Ryan Adamson. I am a supervisor here at Instructure with support. I've been here for over 1.5 years now. I like Legos. I like Star Wars, so naturally I like Lego Star Wars. I have many of these on my desk. I kind of feel like a little kid, but that's okay. Here is our team. So as you can see, we have a very diverse group of individuals. We hire people for their personableness, their tech savviness, and their customer support experience. All of these people on here are, most of them that came on as L1s were actually L2s or L3s at previous jobs. So we're really fortunate here, and hopefully you will, get that world-class support that you expect. Down here, these are the two new guys. They haven't quite earned their picture yet on the wall. We'll see how they do. And just so you know who's talking, this right here, that's me. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about the roles of support here. Of course, we are kind of broken down like most support teams. We have our L1s, L2s, and L3s, and then everybody else is kind of just upper management. The L1s, they are our babies, if you will. They are tech savvy, and when we initially hire them, we really have quite the screening process to really try to find the most tech savvy individuals that we can, so that they can help you and find workarounds or help you figure out different methods to get what you want. They know Canvas well after training, well enough to be able to help with most standard questions. And like I said before, we pick them for their personableness. We don't want you guys to have a boring experience when you call us. We want you guys to have a memorable experience, but also a very helpful experience. The L2s, they've had time to grow. They are tech savvier at this point. They know Canvas extremely well. Like I said, most of our L2s were L1s at some point, so they had to have a lot of time in Canvas picking apart, all the different corners of Canvas to help you with any bugs or issues that you report up. They also bring an analytical skill set to the table where they can really take the L1 escalations and dig deeper into them and figure out, what exactly is going on. And lastly, we have our L3s. They are essentially the Jedis of the team. They are shockingly tech-savvy, borderline programmers themselves. They've done a lot of, work with code, a lot of work with our engineers. They know Canvas comprehensively well to the point where they can kind of tell the rest of our agents how something should work because they have direct communication lines between the engineering team and the product team. And that's kind of where the project management skills come in as well. They need to have those skills to be able to, fix all of the bugs that come through with those teams. Any questions about the roles so far?
No.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about the care and feeding of your tickets. So typically when you create a ticket, it goes into the black box that is support, and then out, hopefully in our case, comes awesome. But I do want to back up and kind of show you guys what's in that black box. So we'll back up just a bit. So when our Tier 1 team receives your guys' tickets from you being admins, your students, your faculty, and staff, typically they will be able to fix all but 10% of those tickets. The 10% then gets sent up to our Tier 2 team, and they will be able to fix, quite a few, I guess, but they'll escalate about 4 out of 10 in that random sampling. And then from the Tier 3 team, they will be able to probably catch one that the Tier 2 agent didn't really think about, or maybe it was a known issue and they didn't realize it. But the rest usually go through to our engineering team. So when it gets to our engineering team, the ticket can take a couple of different paths. The first path is this bottom path where it goes over to a bug backlog. Now that kind of sounds like a kind of a barren wasteland, but it's really not. We place bugs in there as just a bin for our engineers to pick up and work from, but they do go in 3-week cycles. So every 3 weeks we update Canvas, and the first couple of weeks of that 3-week period is what we call a sprint. So during those sprints, our engineers will pick up bugs from the bug backlog and work on them and get them into QA status so that for the 3rd week, our quality assurance engineers can take a look at it and make sure there's no problems. The prioritization of bugs, there's a lot of different variables that go into that. There is, how many institutions have reported this issue? How many users is it affecting? Essentially the same thing. Is it related to security, privacy, or FERPA-related issues? Those are the kind of issues that we treat with the utmost priority. But there's a lot of things that go into it, and so we do try to get everything fixed that we can. But we just ask that if you guys ever, notice a bug, that you let Chris know that this is a high priority bug for your institution, and he will make a note of it, and we will do what we can to get it fixed as soon as we can. The other bucket that we have here is the features bucket. So from time to time, a lot of users that are utilizing Canvas, they have ideas for how to make it better. Our agents will refer them over to our features discussion site to kind of post that. And it's not that we're trying to get rid of you, we're trying to put you into, just this black hole, because we're not. What we want you to do is post those out to the community so that others from the community can also look at it, vote on it, put their feedback in, and let it kind of grow in the community. And once our product team has seen that a specific feature request has grown enough to where there's a lot of buzz around it and it's a good idea and they also agree with it, then they will implement it in the Canvas. So please feel free to always add requests for new features and functionality there. The last path that a ticket can take is a support week ticket. So the support week tickets are your quick engineering tickets. These are, quick data fixes, if you will. Let's say that a student is taking a quiz and for some reason the moon's aligned and a glitch happened in Canvas, and now that student's submission is broken. They can't get back in and take the quiz. They're getting like a page error. If that ever happens, you guys can report that issue to us. We can get that ticket sent up to the engineers quickly, and they will fix it. And typically, the turnaround time for the support week tickets is anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, but you can let us know how urgent it is. And if it's really urgent, then we can put more priority on it. Any questions about any of this stuff so far?
No.
Okay, great. So let's talk about a little bit about jargon. So I'm going to escalate your ticket. Basically, according to the other slides, you guys know what that means. It's just one level is sending it up to the next level, somebody with mightier skills or better tools to fix the issue. I'll attach your ticket to a JIRA. You may hear this from time to time. So we at the help desk use a ticketing system called Zendesk, and that is sufficient for our needs as support team. But with our engineers, Zendesk was not a good enough ticketing system for them. So they use a ticketing system called Jira, and Jira and Zendesk communicate with each other very well, and they integrate very well. So if you ever hear that we will attach your ticket to Jira, it just means that we are going to attach your ticket to the bug ticket or the ticket is with our engineering team. I will try to get that prioritized. This kind of goes back to if you guys ever experience a bug that is a big deal for your institution, let Chris know, and he will try to get that prioritized as much as he can. We're going to hotfix that. So a hotfix is something that if a bug comes up that is a big enough issue or a big enough problem, or it's related to security or privacy, these are issues that we will fix before a 3-week release cycle. So it will actually be within one of those sprint weeks. We'll actually push out the fix. We don't have to wait for that 3rd release week. And lastly, that's a regression. So regression bugs are where we have current functionality in Canvas. It's working fine. We push code in to fix one bug, and for some reason it breaks one of those parts that was already working. That's what we call a regression. And since those were our faults and we didn't check all the things, we will get those fixed as soon as we possibly can. And we treat those kind of as hot fixes usually. So if you ever see something like that after you notice that we have a release weekend and something stops working, let us know as soon as you can, and we will fix it. Any questions about the jargon?
No.
Okay, great. All right, so when bad things happen, we know that it makes you sad, but we are here for you. We break up bad things into 2 high-level categories. The first being availability issues. This is where Canvas is completely down or inaccessible. Typical issues like this is outages and severe site slowness. The other is high-impact bugs. This is where Canvas is up and running, but something is horribly wrong. Some high-impact bugs that we consider are issues with grades, student work, or security and privacy. When these things happen, we'll keep you informed via different communication channels that I will cover on the next slide. We will suggest workarounds if there are any possible. We will fix the problem as soon as we can, and we will, since we are your Tier 1, we will be available to answer your questions, every single day, every hour of the day. So the communication that we send out, the content that is within is what happened. We try to use, people words because we know that not everybody understands technical jargon. So we will try to explain it in a way that everyone can understand. We will explain to you what's being done to fix it, or what was done to fix it if it's already fixed. And if it's not fixed yet, we will give you an ETA as to when it will be fixed. If we happen to not have an ETA yet, we will just tell you when we will update you again next. The different channels that we send out these communications on are admin emails. So we do have a distribution list, and if you guys have a list of administrators that you want to have receive these types of notifications, please send that list over to Chris, and he will get it added to our distribution list. The second way that we send out these communications is via Twitter. We have a handle which is @CanvasSupport. The @CanvasSupport handle, we will update 15 minutes at the most after something happens, and then every hour after that if it is needed. Or else we will just let you know when it is fixed. This Twitter handle support, you guys can tweet back to it if you want to have a question with support, but we kind of ask that you use the other communication channels that we'll talk about later for your primary support, because that Twitter handle is mostly for us just reporting out to the world what's going on. And then lastly, we do have a status page. This is where it is. When you go to help.instructure.com, which is the URL for Zendesk, kind of below our group of buttons there is a Canvas status updates link. If you click on that, it will take you to the page. The first thing you will see on that page is this little table. It has all of our core features and functionality listed within Canvas, as well as its status. If anything ever happens to where those go down or get degraded, we will change those colors just so you know what's going on. And below that, we have a recent status updates, which will contain typically the 3 most recent issues that have happened. And then below that, we actually have an archive page that will show a historical reference of all of the different issues that happened within Canvas. So if a student ever comes up to you guys and says, hey, I was taking this quiz and, Canvas went down, you can actually look back through this page to see if that's true and, give the student an extra attempt if you need to. Any questions about what I've covered so far?
No?
Okay, great. So now let's talk a little bit about just what's covered in your Tier 1 contract. So we, being my help desk here, will provide first contact support for your faculty, staff, and students. You will have, as soon as you guys go live in 1 week from today, you will have new buttons added to your help menu. One will have, the report a problem link, which when we switch all the triggers in Zendesk, when your students create a ticket, it will go straight to us. You will have another button that shows, chat with Canvas support, and when they click on that, they'll do a live chat with my agents. And then the last button will be just a button that displays your 800 number. It will be a toll-free 800 number that students can call or faculty can call to get live support. That is not the number below. I have that number for you, and I will send it to you guys in an email after this is over so that you can start adding it to documentation and training and whatever you need to do. We will also provide premium support for your admins only via the premium support line, which is that number there. The only thing that I do ask is that this number in particular, you guys do not share out with anybody but admins, only because that's your, your urgency number. You can call us and get in touch with an L2 directly when you call that number. So please only share that with your administrators. We will do 24/7 phone, chat, email, and ticket support. So you know that the phone, chat, and ticket support is all through the help menu. The email is, we give you guys this method of communicating with us just in case Canvas goes down and you can't get to the help menu. And that email is support@instructure.com. I will actually send that to you guys in that same email so that you have that for your records as well. Any questions about that so far?
Well, good.
Okay, great. And then lastly, your service level agreements. So we will have 1 minute to answer the phone calls when they come in and have an abandon rate of no more than 8%. Chat, we need to respond to the chat within 2 minutes after it's been fed to our agents. And tickets, when your students, faculty, and staff send a ticket in, we have up to 1 hour to respond to that ticket. These SLAs will be shown to you in stats that I will provide at the end of every month before the 10th of the month. So, because I have quite a few Tier 1 institutions now. It takes me a while to build those reports out, but I will try to get them to you guys by the 10th of every month for the previous month. Any questions about that?
Yes, actually on the 1 hour turnaround on tickets, is that a substantive response, or is it a response saying, we got your request, we'll get back to you?
Yeah, it's just the initial response saying, yeah, we do have your request, we received it and we're working on it. Like you saw before, our Tier 1 agents are able to fix about 90% of the tickets that come through though, and most of that is like your first response. We already seen the issue that the person is reporting, or it's like a how-to question, so we'll just get right into it with them and say, thank you for contacting Canvas support. Here's your answer, and let us know if you need any more help, kind of a thing. But it is only really referring to that initial response. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Lastly, so we've been doing Tier 1 support for quite a while now. We are currently up to, I think, 55 Tier 1 institutions that we are providing Tier 1 support for. And while we've been doing this, we have noticed a couple of issues that come up within our support tickets or phone calls where we cannot assist these users because they are, pieces of information they're asking for that we just don't have access to. This list right here is our list that we've created for the most typical issues that we have to send back to you guys. Because I'm pretty sure you don't want us answering financial aid questions, or if they're having hardware stuff, you know, we can't really help them with that. Like if they have like a laptop and it's broken and it's a hardware issue, we can't really help them with that. So this is a list that I'm going to send to you guys in an email as well. If you guys would, please fill it out. This is something that I will put into my internal knowledge base so that my guys know where to route these kinds of issues. You can put on here phone numbers or emails or websites, whatever you want for my guys to route them. We can do it however you need to. If you want us to actually create a ticket in Zendesk and then forward the ticket back to you guys, we can do that too. However you really want it to be done. Any questions about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. The only one that kind of is a toss-up on that list is authentication. Some institutions will use Canvas authentication. Others will set up their own through LDAP, CAS, or SAML. Do you guys know which type you use? I haven't checked.
I believe we're using Shibboleth.
I can check we can check right now too.
Shibboleth.
Shibboleth, okay. So you guys do have your own authentication system in place. So that's what that one is for, is just so that we know where to send people for password resets, since we will not have access to your authentication system. But please feel free to put that in there. And then the other information category on that list is just, if you guys have anything else that's kind of specific to your institution that you want to include for us to be able to route users, please put that in there as well.
So Ryan, I have a question, and it may be for
Sure.
us as much as it's for you. But for initially, for the fall, we won't be integrated with the banner system. We won't probably be using our own authentication. Julie, is that true?
The authentication, there's a possibility we'll have it set up, but the integration is correct. We can set up for
So in the interim, if we don't have authentication set up, do you guys handle it, or will you send those kinds of questions back to us?
Yeah, if you guys have, so some institutions will have, let's talk like K-12. They will have maybe the students log in through an authentication system, but the parents log in through Canvas authentication. We will actually provide, password reset support for the Canvas authentication side for those parents. So for you guys, if you're using Canvas authentication up until you move over to Shibboleth, then we will help you and we will do the password resets for those users. Because we can look at the account and see if they have multiple logins, and if they have one that is a Canvas login, we can reset that password for them. So I can mark you guys down as using Canvas authentication for now. Just let me know when you guys switch over, and I will be happy to, add that to the KB, and then when users call in, we can route them appropriately.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Just to recap real quick, here's what will be in the email that I will send you. It will have this list of what you would like us to do for non-Canvas issues. It will have your 800 number that I will be adding for your students, faculty, and staff to the help menu. It will also have the 800 number for the admins. It will have the email address that you guys can contact us at, the support@instructure.com. And then it will also have an example of the stat sheet that I provide, at the end of the month. Just to kind of break that down a little bit more, what's within the stat sheet, I have, percentages by contacts, how many times we were contacted by chat, phone, email, or ticketing system. I have, how quickly we answered the phones, how long the average talk time was. But I also have at the very bottom a top 10 list, if you will, of issues where we were contacted. That top 10 list is a really good resource for you guys for training purposes. So let's say, 1 month we have a ton of tickets from your institution about assignments, and we didn't have any bugs or issues related to assignments that month. It's just a lot of faculty or students had questions about assignments. That's just a good way for you guys to know that that's probably what you should provide training on for that next month. So I will include that as well. I will also include in that email this PowerPoint that I went through with you today. just so you know how to get to the Canvas status page and all that good stuff. Okay?
Sounds good.
Great. That's all I had. Did you guys have any other support-related questions for me or any concerns?
I don't think we do at this moment.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to working with all of you. My email address will also be contained within that email. I like to hear the good and the bad. You know, the bad's kind of more fun because then I get to harass my guys. But please let me know if you guys ever have a good or bad experience, and I will be very responsive to your report. Okay?
Great, thank you.
All right.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll chat in just a little bit, it looks like. About an hour and a half.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What's at 11?
Status at home. Which maybe you want to be on. Meg and I begged out of those.
Yeah.